क्या शान, ओ शुगर भी आ गया है मुझे। उसके बाद बीपी भी आ गया, बीपी की गोली खाना, शुगर की गोली खाना, काम वाम भी करो कर को बोलती क्या करना सो अरे बुद्धू काम करे तो जब आपको नॉर्मल डिलीवरी होती सो, नहीं तो कटा लेना है, तो फिर दैट विल बी द सीरियस प्रॉब्लम अगेन। What are the two different, three types of the diabetes mellitus now? Let me see step by step what these are the three types of the diabetes. One to be known as a type 1 diabetes mellitus, formerly referred to as the insulin dependent IDDM. You recognize as a I, you can write down on the book, you just mention when you write down the chart or you write down the diagnosis to the patient, that time already he is taking the insulin. That means insulin dependent diabetes mellitus. So that means insulin what produces in the body, so that's not at all producing. There is totally insulin resistant. The another concept is juvenile diabetes mellitus. So this also congenital, or sometimes is the later period it will come to the children at the age of 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, less than 20 years. If the patient become the diabetes mellitus, that to be considered as a juvenile diabetes mellitus. The other people above the 40 years or 50, 60, 70 years, the patient will get, and then they can consider as a type 2 diabetes mellitus. But whereas in insulin is not at all producing in them, and then this will be judgment taken place by the diabetologist itself. But initially it cannot be say, but totally it is not releasing the insulin. But it's not like that. The person at the age of 50 years, at the age of 50 he got the diabetes mellitus. At 50 years insulin production to be taken place. Now the sugar level is elevated. But the secretion is lesser than the normal, but that cannot be considered. It is not at all releasing, is not like that. But how we can recognize that? When the patient, even I think few weeks ago, one patient is coming to me. Now he told me that I have the diabetes mellitus 587, which I have seen in my center. So later, before he came, that he used to say me that greater than 600 I have the diabetes mellitus. Greater than 600 diabetes mellitus. So that means H. It shows as a H is the high. L it shows is the low. L means is the low. H means is the very high. But it is we don't know. Sometimes it shows 500 plus or 600 something like that, but the patient says me in that way. But now of late I have seen some of the clinical case studies, 2 clinical case studies I need to share you, but when time permits me I'll try to tell you that thing. But now recognize the type 1 diabetes. If the diabetes is not at all controlling after the medication, the metformin hydrochloride or the sulfonylurea medications or bigonides, some kind of the medicines, so they are providing the medicine and still that's not controlling the diabetes. That particular time we can recognize it is the totally insulin resistance is there, but it's not at all producing the insulin in the body. In that situation, the supplementary insulin is required to provide them. Whatever insulin is produced by the abdominal system, in the same kind of the insulin is administrating to the patient, but that is the equivalent of the insulin. That's the reason they normally says you just take it as a 10 units or the 20 units or the 30 or the 40 units. Morning you just take it as a 30 units, but evening you just take it as a 10 units. Normally recognized in the evening time they prescribe is the lesser units, but daytime they say is the more units, because daytime he is the alert. So maybe everybody is there and people can recognize that if he is going for the hypoglycemia. At the same time in the night time you give the more insulin, but when he go for the bed we don't know what will going to happen in the night time. Perhaps it go to the hypoglycemia, but he unable to wake up and unable to call to anyone, but slowly it's getting down. The person will be lie down forever on the bed itself, right? In that way, that's the reason in the evening time it's not advisable to give us a long, that also insulin again it's the 2 types. One to be known as a long acting, the other one is the short acting. The long acting insulin can be taken place for around 10 hours to 14 hours. so that to be taken care, or the short acting insulin, where the insulin is very much essential because it is the higher level of the sugar is there, greater than 500. In that time need to control very immediately, that time is the short acting insulin to be given. There are again, it is the two types which I told you now, but in that way we try to understand. But IDDM is indicating insulin is required for me. Without insulin I cannot survive, I cannot keep the fasting, and without the insulin injection I cannot go out, I cannot attend any function, I cannot travel, isn't it? So in that way they always carry that insulin, carry on them to use out of it. So now the second to be known as a type 2 diabetes mellitus, called as a NIDDM. That means non-insulin dependent diabetes mellitus, isn't it? But I am not the dependent, but maybe I have the diabetes mellitus. Even yesterday one woman told me that even Satya Sai Baba Higher Education Medical Sciences in the Whitefield in 2021 and 2022, and she diagnosed as the IHD, ischemic heart disease, and also type 2 diabetes mellitus, and her HbA1c is 11. I have seen the reports yesterday, and she is telling that for the last 2 years I am not at all taking any kind of the medicine related to the cardiac, related to the diabetes as well, as she pointed out. And she is used to come for the treatment, but still I didn't see that reports, but still she is telling in this way this is not totally good. By ask her to recheck all the parameters what exactly present situation, because the ejection fraction means EF of the echo of the heart is less than 30%. She got it after the treatment, now it is elevated to the 50%. If the 50% is the good quality, but still need to check what exactly today is happening. I mean to say, without a medicine also can be survive the diabetes mellitus as well, right? Non-insulin dependent diabetes mellitus, the people who take the medicine, they also can survive and they continue their medication to become the normal healthy life, they can proceed. But without taking the medicine also, that name is indicating non-insulin dependent diabetes mellitus, is indicating that insulin is producing but not to optimistic level, but certain level it is releasing, but still we are not comfortable, it sometimes it shoots up. Then I'll try to tell you what could be the reason to cause this problem. Always you try to recognize, and then you are treating by using the acupuncture itself is alone is not quite enough. There are the many parameters in the holistic way and also integrated way. We need to be approached to the patient, that we will going to see what exactly to be done. Now you recognize NIDDM is the non-insulin, but where the insulin production is good, but still not that level, that to be known as a type 2 diabetes mellitus. Now the third level to be known as a gestational diabetes mellitus. Gestation is the gravidex. Gravidex is the positive. The woman after the marriage, normally they will get the pregnancy is the positive. The gravidex is the first is positive, or the gravidex is the second is positive, or the gravidex third is positive. Positive means is the first pregnancy or the second pregnancy or the third pregnancy. First pregnancy they are good, there is no sign and symptom of the diabetes mellitus. On the second baby, they developed as a elevation of the swelling on the pitting edema or the pedal edema, they got it. Later they diagnosed that there is a thyroid problem. Further they diagnosed it as a diabetes mellitus as well. Maybe one or two related problem they got it. That to be known as a gestational diabetes, because the children, the infant in the mother's womb, what is existing, there is the one more infant is growing is happening. So that particular time, that also taking the more insulin, that child also required the insulin. In that way, that has been bifurcated, and then ramification to be taken place to that child. Due to that reason, she developed that problem. In that situation, what to be done? So this is it increases timely. So when at the month of first trimester is okay, but second trimester she got it. That means is the fourth month she got it. Then ultimately there are the true trimesters. That is 6 months is she got the period. 6 months period she got the developed the diabetes mellitus. First trimester, one trimester is equivalent to 3 months. So therefore 9 months, 3 days, 9 months, 10 days will become the full pregnancy, isn't it? So in that way, she developed in the second and third trimester. That means is the 3 months or the 6 months is the maximum. People will be getting the gestational diabetes or the hypertension. So once after the birth of the baby, then chances are there that will become the normal most of the times, which we have seen greater than 80% of the women. So they developed in the during the period, gestation period. Later that will become the normal. But by the way, all the women don't get the diabetes mellitus of the pregnancy women. Very few people will get where the immunity is deficiency, where the male sperm and then female egg quality is very poor. On that situation, sometimes it gets that problem. But again, we don't blame to the father, we don't blame to the mother, and we don't blame to each other. Even yesterday, I think I have seen one patient which is related to the ADHD and also the autistic spectrum disorders. But I given some kind of the information to them. So this started from the pregnancy. But then again I told them, please don't quarrel each other. Then your is the problem, mine is the problem. Again there is the conflict between the husband and wife. And perhaps I told you not to keep it this pregnancy, but you only told me to keep it this pregnancy. Now we are something it causes because of the doctor's one word. So they take it as a very positive, sometimes they take it as a negative as well. That's the reason I had told that it started during the pregnancy. Again I have done the compromise each other, don't conflict each other, be happy and polite. Again I told that. So I mean to say gestational diabetes is the inborn disease, that to be known as a diabetes mellitus. Later that will become the normal. And then if I'll tell you one secret, shall I tell you? What secret is required? Yes. What happened, during that particular time, during the pregnancy, you will get the diabetes mellitus. So after that, she will going to tell to the entire family people. Either right side family people, left side. That means is the mother side also, everybody should know she got the diabetes. In the mother parent, husband side, everybody, no Baba, because I cannot do it anything, I have to go and then sleep. Because always they are lazy. But during the before pregnancy itself, they don't want to do any job. If the sass is there, mother-in-law is there, right. Don't say that.
Always you praise women, I see.
Yes, see. No, Afreen is not like that.
No, we always praise.
Sometimes, because I see that. I could see that. See, I balance this. Whenever I do like that, I'll tell that yes.
Balance therapy is a
Absolutely. I think in the Zoom also says that it is absolutely.
balance therapy.
See, I messed it somewhere else. What is the secret?
I was like, wow, mashallah, I should clap you. How balancing.
But secret, hidden secret, you have to come and see at home. Right. However, I think I missed the concept. What is the secret? What kind of the secret I told you? Yeah, that's what. In the parent side also. No, because that kind of some of the women also is there. I'm telling you how to overcome this problem. I'm not blaming you. Because why this will going to happen is the reason also. Because it's not the pancreas only the reason I'm telling you. It's stress also reason to cause this problem. That's what I mean to say. Whenever you will get the diabetes mellitus during the gestation period, please don't tell to anyone. Why you wanted to spread that? Because why, maybe male or female. They will going to spread that. Doctor told me only one thing, Baba ये आया है, चले जाता फिर आपको डिलीवरी के बाद. लेकिन वो चले जाता है वो समझ में नहीं आता उनको. अभी शुगर आ गया है मुझे. They wanted to spread this to everyone. That is the problem I mean to say. Because why you wanted to create the problem. Then after that she feel that gratitude. Oh मुझे शुगर भी शान उनको. क्या शान? ओ शुगर भी आ गया है मुझे. उसके बाद बीपी भी आ गया. बीपी की गोली खाना, शुगर की गोली खाना, काम भी करो कर को बोलती हैं. क्या करना सो? अरे बुद्धू काम करे तो जब आपको नॉर्मल डिलीवरी होती सो, नहीं तो कटा लेना है. So here that will be the serious problem again. What I mean to say, don't spread your unnecessary, information to the other people, because doctor itself cannot totally recognize and eradicate this disease. What the layman can do, you just tell me. So that's the reason, please don't tell and spread your disease to the everyone. Disease goes away in 6 months. ದೆನ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ 6 ಮಂತ್ಸ್ ಬಿ ಅಯ್ಯೋ ಅಪ್ಕೆ ತಾಯಿಗೆ ಶುಗರ್ ದೇಖೋ ಇವಾಗ ನೋಡಿ ಎಷ್ಟಾಯ್ತಾ ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸಲ ನೋಡಿ ಓ ಇವಾಗ 200 ಇತ್ತು. ಯು ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್ 200 ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ಪ್ರೆಡಿಕ್ಟ್ ಟೋಟಲಿ ಯುವರ್ ಡಯಾಬಿಟಿಸ್ ಮೆಲಿಟಸ್. GTT you do it, glucose tolerance test, it goes to the 200, 220. Don't consider immediately how the diabetes mellitus. So we are telling, but you are thinking that I have the diabetes, then who will going to cure you? Your mind is not accepting. You feel that yes, the proud you are feeling that you got the disease, then cannot be treatable with anyone, I mean to say. But not all the women, by the way. Afrin is not like that. Right. इसके बाद अच्छा बैलेंस करना हुआ तुम्हें. ज़रा बोलना मुझे सर, ज़रा सर मेरे तरफ देखो और बोलना. तुम्हें ये लेडीज़ बात ऊपर जान पर पड़ जाती मेरे. टाइफाइड
मैम शाम को आपको घर पे जाना है ना सर?
जी.
मैडम से मिलना है ना?
मैडम जूम में नहीं, आप चिंता मत करो, कौन भी नहीं बोलते, मगर बोलना भी नहीं. यार अम्मा दो ಶ್ರೀದೇವಿ ಮೂದೇವಿ ಯಾರು ನೀನು? ಶ್ರೀದೇವಿನ ಮೂದೇವಿನ ನೀನು?
ಶ್ರೀದೇವಿ ಸರ್.
ಯಾರು ಶ್ರೀದೇವಿ? ತೋರ್ಸು ನಿನ್ನ ಮುಖ.
ಶ್ರೀದೇವಿ ಸರ್ ಆಗಿರೋದು.
ಸರಿ ಹೇಳಬೇಡ, ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಇರು ನೀನು. Sorry, background is type 2 diabetes mellitus is ongoing fast, spreading worldwide, but you can recognize in India 77 million people are affected for the diabetes mellitus. In this case, you can say that 77 millions is the one of the biggest country for the diabetes. The capital for the diabetes mellitus country? ದುಃಖ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ನನಗೆ, ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಳಕ್ಕೆ. Hey, how sattvic we are, yaar. Where you have forgotten? You go to the South India, we take the food on the LA. Andre, what LA then? Balennu. How beautiful. You have forgotten everything. How is our culture? Then where we are living? But those people, they don't touch the food with the fingers. They are not the diabetes world. But now we eat everybody with the fingers. How come it causing the problem of the number 1 in the world? I am against this. Shouldn't be like this. Do you know the beauty of taking the food with the fingers? I think Ishwar sir is there, he can tell what is the beauty of the fingers. But here is very much essential. You remember lipase and amylase and protease is releasing by the fingers when you do the secrete, when you lick the fingers. So that have the great beauty. But we eat everything is the food with the fingers, not with the spoon.
Digestion processing.
Yes. So why we do get the problem? Again, we need to spread this good knowledge, and hopefully all the fast board and all the other candidates who are the alternative medical practitioners, complementary medical practitioners, integrated medical practitioners, indigenous national practitioners, or the native practitioners, or Parampariya practitioners, or the Ayurveda practitioners, Unani and then Siddha medical practitioners, all this need to be spread and show them to this government and also this India that we are not the diabetes mellitus, but the modern country people will become the diabetes mellitus number 1. You can consider USA, isn't it? But Chinese also, they moderate, they balance the food. But however, I don't know about the USA, but USA also the prime country, they use as a, with the spoon and also fork, they use it. But other countries, you just blame it, but don't blame to the India. Hereafter, ourselves will be the substantial people. We eradicate that, yes, shouldn't get the diabetes will become the number 1 in India, but other country will be. This will be the last country. Because we recognize our culture, yaar. We are really sattvic food. No doubt some of the people they take, even Muslims we can consider. You take it to me, I take weekly once is the meat. But normally because of children we take sometimes the 2 times hardly. But even my wife says, So 10 days over you didn't brought the meat to home. She says, then I recognize, oh, I need to bring the meat for the children. So in that way, we not all the women, Muslims eat the 3 times, 4 times. It's not like that.
No, that they can't eat it.
So you only like that now? Yeah. No, I mean to say it's not like that. Sattvic food we are eating, I mean to say. Despite of that, why it is so? Let me see what are the other reason to cause this problem. Yeah, that also genetically also reason to cause the diabetes. You are rightly pointed out. But let me see on the coming slides I'll try to tell you more about it. Whatever you eat, sweet is very good. Who told you not to take sweet? But sweet every day you take it, that you will become the normal of the diabetes mellitus. Don't spread this message, but still I'll tell you what are the reason, how much sweet to be taken. But sweet is very much required. Sweet is internally connected to the pancreas. So pancreas need to work, then the diabetes patient need to take the sweet as well. I'll tell you what kind of the sweet, what to be taken, how much to be taken. Maybe when I take the slides that will come to know. But otherwise, if you ask me, if I have forgotten to tell you about the sweet secret also, I'll tell you.
Sweet from fruits.
Yes, how it is, not fruits. You need to eat sweet literally. I'll tell you what kind of the sweet to be taken. Diabetes mellitus occurs due to the animal inability to produce enough insulin or use it properly. Insulin is the hormone that efficiently breaks down sugars, right? Insulin is break down the sugars, fats and proteins, including the sugar glucose. Without insulin managing the glucose level, sugar accumulates in the blood and spills into the urine and can result in the health conditions. Pets with the diabetes should be evaluated by the veterinary and doctor every 2 or to 4 months, and then as health issues arise. So owners should also watch for the changes in the pet's behavior. So even for them also they may get the diabetes mellitus. Even for the dog diabetes mellitus or the rat diabetes mellitus, or maybe the cat diabetes mellitus or the kitten diabetes mellitus or the cow diabetes mellitus, horse diabetes mellitus, donkey diabetes mellitus, monkey diabetes mellitus, so on. Chances are there they too have the problem. You just visit to the Vedanta in Gujarat, where the Anand Ji is the Mukesh Ambani's son, right? So Anand Ji has been created around 3,000 acres land he took, and then he is making the animals to live together, and also he have the great hospitality to regulate and to protect the animals. Whatever animals, there is no rescue for them, and the rescues has been taken place in Vedanta forest area. And he has, the Modi ji has been given the lot of importance to that, and Anand ji is taking care for the entire thing with the support of the international team for the rescuing the animals, not the Indian people. All the foreign people are taking care for all the animals. Wherever the animals, whatever animal do you require, the entire animals are there in the Vedanta. Hope whenever you have the opportunity to visit to the Gujarat, that time you try to see that place, and exactly we are going to enjoy. But that is the world's biggest and also I think longest zoo we can consider. But most probably they are allowing to the layman people or not. I am not aware of it. But if they are giving the opportunity to visit that place, you can enjoy that situation, how the veterinary doctors are doing some kind of the treatment to them. And there is the veterinary hospital, is a great hospital is there. But I hope so in that place acupuncture also existing to do the veterinary acupuncture for them. So even I have the great desire in future, but we have the two things we can keep it in the mind. One, to be known as a later future, we wanted to develop as a robotic acupuncture. Number 2, to be known as a veterinary acupuncture. These two things we need to spread, but however we are doing to the human being, the human to human, what we are doing, okay, but still we wanted to do as a veterinary acupuncture, need to spread in the greater way, in the large scale and massive scale need to be spread. The number 2, to be known as a robotic acupuncture. For our mission for the future, definitely we will plan and try to do this, and all your support is required for us in order to implement that. And also, is not that only you are doing. Today, the cardiology, they are doing the robotic robotic cardiac surgery, they are doing the bone surgery, they are doing oral surgery, they are doing in the restaurants, they are serving the robotic service, they are doing. There is no waiter, only this robotic waiter is supporting and assisting to the people. But where we are sleeping? Where are you? You are doing the same for the last 8,000 years ago. Acupuncture developed. Some people, even I say, the beyond stone before ages has been developed. Why are you sleeping, Baba? You wake up. You wake up. Open your eyes and use the Albert Einstein how he used the 100% of the brain. Open your brain. Only we are using 10% of the brain, but we need to open the remaining the 90% of the brain. ब्रेन को खोलो भाई, खोल के फिर आप देखो दूसरी दुनिया को देखो. चांद के ऊपर चले गया, दूसरे प्लैनेट के ऊपर चले गया, हम इसी प्लैनेट के अंदर हैं. नो डाउट इफ द ऑलमाइटी इज वांटेड टू सर्वाइव एंड लिव ऑन दिस ओनली द one planet, but we don't go beyond that limit. But still there is a mechanism is there, there is a machinery is there, there is a technology. I think Shilpa will take up MTech. So Imran, you just take it to her. Shilpa is the MTech. You also need to accompany for this robotic, and also Archana is there here, and Mr. Hussein, who is the MTech people. Archana also MTech, and Hussein also MTech, and who completed their post graduation in acupuncture. I welcome to all the people come forward, and also who is the physics PhD doctor, the chemistry PhD doctor, and also there is a mathematics mathematics PhD doctor. We required these are the people, and also we required the laboratory services. So if we do have this concept, and also there is a funding somebody will going to do in order to implement this concept, and then definitely this will become the fruitful and success for the later future. This is for not for our generation, for the future generation this we can provide. Tomorrow will become the scientifically proven, but this acupuncture will become the 5.5 years or the 6 years is the professional course will going to accept by the health authorities, by the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, whoever that time is the Prime Minister of India and President of India. Those people will going to organize, and those people will going to do the opening ceremony for this program. So that mission will going to take up for the future. That's what is there in our mind, but still people need to come forward, spend the time for that purpose, and also obviously require the funding as well. But lot of fund is there with the people, but still somebody can open up that and provide some kind of the fund, that definitely we can see that laboratories. When the laboratory is available, then we can recruit to the people as well.